Who's the Denver Nuggets X Factor? The guy that can help this team make a deep playoff run. Listen, I'm talking about a guy who can come in and can make winning plays in crucial moments. This Denver Nuggets team, they got solid role players all over. But who's that X Factor that can help this team swing in series? We know who the main guys are. The leaders are Jamal Murray and Nikola Jokic. But outside of those two, who can help this Nuggets team get past the second round for the first time since 2009? Is it Paul Millsap? What about Bol Bol or Gary Harris? Which Denver Nuggets player would you say fits that X Factor role? For me, it's really just two guys. I think there's two guys that I'm keeping my eye on. These guys can possibly fill that role that the Nuggets have been missing, and they can wear that title of the X Factor perfectly. So in this journey, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna be looking at the third seed in the West, and I'm gonna give you their X Factors. I'm gonna also go over some of their recent games, as well as give you an outlook for the Denver Nuggets 2020 season. Now, make sure you stick around to the end of this video, because we got a marquee matchup. I'm talking about a juicy one tonight. The Boston Celtics and the Toronto Raptors. So stick around for that one, because I'm gonna give you a preview. Man, let's go ahead and get into it.
Are you ready?
Welcome back to Journey of a Ballaholic, the best talk show for basketball addicts. I'm your host, General Hannibal X. Now, if you're new on this channel, you're going to be getting my passionate and in-depth analysis on the hottest NBA and college basketball topics. Listen, I'm a ballaholic, absolutely addicted to basketball, and I have my opinions just like everybody. But if you like opinions that are backed by facts, go ahead and hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, but also be sure to tap that bell notification so that you'll be updated whenever I drop new videos, which is every Monday and Friday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Okay, so my first X Factor for this Denver Nuggets squad is 7'2" Bol Bol. Listen, this dude right here is an absolute game changer. In his first game against the Washington Wizards in the bubble, this man went out there and had 16 points, 10 rebounds, and 6 big-time blocks. When you've got a guy like this who is at 7'2" and can rebound the ball, push the ball up the court, and then can also stop on a dime and pull up, yo, that's unbelievable ability. When you want to talk about a unicorn, Bol Bol is the definition of a unicorn. He's literally a freak when it comes to his talents on both ends of the court. Listen, Bol Bol gives the Denver Nuggets exactly what they've been missing. Keep this in mind. Nikola Jokic is their best player, but defensively, he's not elite. Paul Millsap also plays in that front court. He's not an elite big man. So who has been that big man that the Denver Nuggets have had or do have other than Bol Bol to be able to give you that rim protection that you need? They don't have it. That's why Bol Bol is one of my biggest X factors for the Denver Nuggets, because not only does his ability on the offensive end change such a dynamic for this team where you've got somebody like I say, like Jokic, who is 7 feet tall, can play any 1 through 5 basically on the floor, and then you put a 7'2" basically wing, a guard, a forward, whatever you want to call Bol Bol on the lineup with him. That right there, that's a game changer. But once again, it's not the offensive end where Bol Bol is going to make the biggest impact. That's going to be the defensive end, and that's why I love him as one of the top 2 guys as far as the Denver Nuggets X Factors. Now, as much as I love Bol Bol, the undeniable X Factor on this Denver Nuggets team has to be Michael Porter Jr. This kid is special. When you mix his size with his skill set, man, how do you stop him? How do you guard someone that is that big and can score on all 3 levels? We saw him show glimpses of this, just how good he could be, back in January. He had 5 double-doubles, which included a 20-point, 14-rebound game against the Minnesota Timberwolves. But these last 3 games, in the bubble where he's been starting, man, Michael Porter Jr. has been averaging over 31 points and 13 rebounds. But what's been most impressive is just how efficient he's been. 62% from the field and a ridiculous 59% from the three-point line. But what's really crazy is that he's been hitting at least 4 threes in each of those games. Now, I get that the Denver Nuggets, they've had their starting backcourt out over the last 2 games, so I understand that Porter's kind of had much more scoring opportunities. But listen, I'm going to tell you right now, if Denver has any chance to make a deep playoff run, they must continue to get the ball and run their offense through Porter. Listen, I get that Jokic is their best player. There's no question about that. But Jokic, he's not as gifted of a scorer as Porter is. And listen, this is not a knock on Jokic either. He's an elite big man. He's an excellent passer, and he has that inside-outside game. But Michael Porter Jr. offensively, man, he is special. Absolutely special. Look, coming out of high school, people will compare Michael Porter Jr. to Kevin Durant. Think about that. Listen, now, once again, we didn't get to see a lot of Porter in college because he suffered that serious back injury. Then he sat out his entire rookie season last year. But the Michael Porter Jr. that you're seeing now, this season, this is why he was that #1 high school project. This is why he was being compared to Kevin freaking Durant. Bro, Porter is a legit 6'11", and he's a solid 215. Wednesday, he became the first Denver Nuggets rookie to record at least 30 points and 10 rebounds in consecutive games. And his 94 points over the last 3 games, that's the most points by a rookie in Denver franchise history. Yes, that includes future Hall of Famer Carmelo Anthony, who's a walking bucket. I'm telling you, man, Porter is a future superstar, not just an all-star level player. He's got superstar potential written all over him. This Nuggets team, man, listen, when they get Jamal Murray back and you add his scoring punch in the backcourt to the size and the skill of this Denver Nuggets team, man, watch out. Listen. Now, I gotta admit, I wasn't high on the Denver Nuggets coming into the restart of this bubble. I felt that they were one piece away from being a legit contender. That's why I didn't put them in my top 5 title contenders when I did that series. Well, listen, ladies and gentlemen, that piece is here. That piece is Michael Porter Jr., and the NBA now has to deal with him night in and night out. Listen, the West is loaded. I get that. You got the Lakers, they got 2 superstars with LeBron and Anthony Davis. The Clippers got 2 superstars with Kawhi and Paul George. Even the Houston Rockets, they got 2 superstars with Russ and Harden. So if the Denver Nuggets want to make a deep playoff run, they need 2 guys playing on a superstar level. Now, they got Jokic. He's definitely a superstar. But if Michael Porter Jr., if he can continue playing at this level, not only will he be the X factor for this team, he could potentially be that second superstar to help them be a legitimate title contending team. See, everybody's going ahead talking about small ball. You got the Boston Celtics playing small, you got the Houston Rockets playing small, but the Denver Nuggets are switching things up. They're playing big ball. Once again, Jokic, 7-footer, Bol Bol, 7'2", and Michael Porter Jr., legit 6'11". When you've got that kind of size and skill, that combination, man, those guys on the court together, and with all the other talent they have around them, when they get healthy, watch out. Now, speaking of the Boston Celtics, tonight, man, we got a big-time matchup. We got a marquee primetime showdown tonight, the Boston Celtics and the Toronto Raptors. This right here is a series I hope that we get to see in the second round of this year's playoffs. Now, unfortunately, there was an injury that just happened to Ben Simmons where he dislocated his knee, so he could be out indefinitely right now, which is right now the Philadelphia 76ers are in that 6th spot. They will be matched up against the Boston Celtics, who currently are in the 3rd seed. Prior to this injury, I honestly would have picked Philly to beat Boston. I honestly would have. But now with this injury, I think Boston will win the first round matchup against the Sixers if the standings hold like they are now. And with Toronto basically locked into that 2nd seed, we're talking about a primetime showdown between Toronto Raptors and the Boston Celtics. Now, this is a matchup that, I don't know about you, but when you want to look at the actual individual matchups, it couldn't be any better than this. Think about that. Pascal Siakam versus Jason Tatum. You got Kemba Walker versus Kyle Lowry. And it goes on and on. OG Anunoby is going to be matched up with Jaylen Brown. This team right here, when you got guys like Marcus Smart, Norman Powell, like this, and the coaches, you got 2 legitimate coaches. Nick Nurse, listen, Nick Nurse is probably the most underrated coach in the entire NBA. Bar none, he's probably the most underrated. There's absolutely no reason why Nick Nurse should not have won Coach of the Year this year. You lose a superstar in Kawhi Leonard, who's hands down a top 3 player in the game. You bring basically the same team back, and you get better. The Raptors have a better record than what they did last year at this point with Kawhi Leonard. Once again, Brad Stevens, I give him credit. He's had a big-time change in his roster. Al Horford out, Kemba Walker in, Terry Rozier out. So a big changeover. Now you're in a situation where you've got the Boston Celtics, who once again, they're going to play small. So a matchup where Marc Gasol or Serge Ibaka, I think they'll have an advantage down low. But let's be very clear. Jason Tatum is here. Jason Tatum is a bona fide superstar in the making. He's got another level I think he can get to. That matchup between him and Siakam, when I did my player rankings, those 2 were the 2 hardest for me to actually rank who's better, Tatum or Siakam. It's a coin flip to me. It really, you could choose either one, and I love what both of them bring. They're both 2-way players. They both have good size, and I think Jason Tatum is definitely more skilled offensively. He's better at being able to create his own shot, and when he gets hot, watch out. He done finally got his hair cut, so now he's in his flow, he's in his groove. I can't wait to see this game tonight, man. I don't know about you, but to me, out of all the games on today, this is the game that I'm most looking forward to seeing tonight. Let me know in the comment section below, who do you think is going to win the game tonight? You going with the Celtics or you going with the Raptors? Also, who do you think is the Denver Nuggets X Factor? Would you go Bol Bol? Would you go with Gary Harris, Paul Millsap, or will you agree and go with Michael Porter Jr.? Let me know in the comment section below. Listen, if you missed my 6-part series, where I broke down my top 5 NBA title contenders, go ahead and click this box right here. If you haven't subscribed, make sure you click the logo up top. Listen, I appreciate you for taking a look at this video. Make sure you stay safe out there in those streets. And remember, we still want justice for those cops that killed Breonna Taylor. Peace.